It's time to trade in fear, anxiety, and pressure for a life of peace, promise, and purpose. Far too often we carry the lies of the world on our backs. It weighs us down, births doubt, and keeps us from our God-given potential. Instead, let's ask the Father, "Who do you say that I am?" Join us as we uncover, embrace, and proclaim our true identity. It's time. The battle. There is a battle happening at this very moment. Do you see it? Can you sense it? You're the target of a fierce battle that seeks to handicap your potential. Your enemy uses sneaky tactics, flying under the radar so you won't see it coming, and the results are devastating. It's a battle over what you believe to be true about yourself, and it's time to gear up and fight. There is no greater battle than the one against your sacred identity. The enemy will speak to you with lies because all he speaks is lies. There is no truth in him. He will skew your perspective about who you are, and what you are capable of, and make you question your purpose. We can't run away from this battle either, because it will happen whether we acknowledge it. The day we were born, the battle began, but this is not what God wants for us. In fact, through Jesus' death and resurrection, He has already fought this battle for us and won. God came to give us a full life, resting in the truth of who He is and what He says about us. Uncovering, embracing, and proclaiming your true God-given identity makes you an unstoppable force for good. You'll be able to show up. You'll be able to find your voice. Most importantly, you'll be able to unapologetically pursue your God-given potential. Has someone in your past unintentionally or deliberately spoken words of false identity over you? Have you accepted remarks rooted in self-doubt, fear, or worry as your truth? Maybe these messages have altered or hindered your growth and possibly your obedience to God's calling on your life. The time has come to acknowledge the battle and stand up and fight. John 10 verse 10 The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. 2 Corinthians 10 verse 5 Casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Romans 12 verse 2 And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, and acceptable, and perfect will of God. Define and align. Where has your story taken you? The miles we've individually traveled have shaped and developed our identities. Whether we're aware of it or not, our past experiences may have given us flawed perspectives on who we should be. Influences from unhealthy relationships, unfortunate circumstances, and sometimes even our own passivity tend to weaken our foundational beliefs. But these were never meant to provide our identity. Or maybe you have allowed the things of this world, your financial bracket, job title, appearance, number of followers, and what other people say or think about you to define who you are. It's an easy trap to fall into and one that many of us struggle to climb out of, but these were also never meant to provide our identity. These influences and perspectives are not eternal, which is why they can never rightly tell us who we really are. What happens when all of those fragile definitions come crumbling down? What happens when we experience failure, loss, or betrayal? Our identity comes crumbling down with them, and it shakes us to the core. The only solution is to change how we define and align our identity. Are you going through life with lies attached to who you are? Many of us are. It is a hard and ugly process to sort through these lies. However, doing it well leads us to wholeness and freedom as we learn to exist in our God-given identity. Start today by asking this simple question. Lord, who do you say that I am? Mark 8 verse 36 For what shall it profit a man, if he shall gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? Matthew 16 verses 15 to 20 He saith unto them, But whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, For flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus Christ. The Father's perspective. Beloved, have you ever allowed God to encourage you? Have you ever asked him what he thinks of you and then sat and listened? We're in a battle for our sacred identity, and there isn't a more powerful weapon than knowing the truth of what God says about you. And what he says about you is beautiful. He delights over you. He loves you. In fact, you are loved by God with a love so great that he sacrificed his only Son for you. You are not condemned, but accepted and loved unconditionally. Because of Christ, you are adopted into the family of God as his precious daughter. You are a new creation, who is blameless in his sight. Before the creation of the world, he thought of you. In him, you are seen, known, and wanted. You are his masterpiece, one of a kind, created for good works that he intended especially for you. When you seek him, he will equip you using his unlimited resources. In him, you can find perfect peace. In him, you are given his strength as you grow in the knowledge of his deep love for you. Do you believe these truths? Beloved, let's walk boldly from the veil into his presence and hear him declare what he says about you. Hear his heart about the details of how he made you. Hear how he plans to uniquely equip and qualify you for his purposes. He wants you to believe your God-given identity, to take it on as the birthright he gave you, anchored, unwavering, and secure despite changing circumstances. He is speaking to you. Are you listening? Hebrews 4 verse 16. Let us, therefore, come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy, and find grace to help in time of need. Ephesians 1 verses 4 to 5. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. John 8 verses 10 to 12. When Jesus had lifted up himself, and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee, go, and sin no more. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world, he that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Ephesians 3 verses 16 to 17. That he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in the inner man, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye, being rooted and grounded in love. Rewrite the script. Are you willing to let go and let God rewrite the script of your identity? Are you ready to finally peel off the false labels that you've been carrying around? Are you ready to experience freedom? The identity he desires to bestow on you is powerful, uniquely crafted, and so worth fighting for. It's an invitation to unveil how the Creator of the universe sees you specifically. Just as God gave Sarah, Abraham, Peter, and Paul new names as they entered new seasons of life, maybe God has a new name for you too. With a new name, comes a new identity. Allow it to be the beginning of the journey to your true identity. Listen to what he is saying about you, your character, and your design in this season. How does he see you? What does he call you? Walking in our true identity is easier said than done. The nuances of our daily circumstances and experiences can trigger and impact how we see ourselves. No matter what, we have to grab hold of our true identity. It becomes an unwavering tower of truth in a world that is flooded by lies. Knowing whose you are allows you to stand on truth freely, without guilt, question, or shame. Friend, schedule some time to intentionally be still and listen. You may just find a thread of truth that you'll need to follow. Follow it, and don't stop until you rest in the depths of your true identity. It's available and waiting for you to embrace it. Proverbs 23 verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. Isaiah 62 verse 2. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Philippians 4 verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Ephesians 3 verses 18 to 19. May be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth, and length, and depth, and height, and to know the love of Christ, which passeth knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of God. Declare your truth. Life is a series of seasons we walk in and out of. All are significant, none superior to the other. In every season, there are unique challenges that come with new agreements that we can either add to our identity or reject. What are the lies you are believing about your current season? Become aware of what they are, then let them go. The simple truth is that you're a beloved daughter, and God wants to build on this. Don't allow the enemy to stop this sacred building process by believing lies. Walk in truth, because there isn't time to fake it. We cancel out the lies of the enemy with biblical truths. Speak it out loud, using the voice that God has given you. Hearing the truth come from your own voice will help renew your mind. There is life in the power of the tongue, so use it for this sacred time. Stepping into your truth will require you to be courageous, brave, bold, and vulnerable all at the same time. Move forward with grit to rewire your mind and make the connection from your head to your heart. It's about time. May the Lord guide you in your sacred journey, unveiling your true identity, the one He designed specifically for you as He formed you in your mother's womb. Wonderful is His work. May you experience transformation in what you believe about who you are and whose you are. May you know and feel the unwavering love the Father pours over you. May you walk in freedom and confidence all the days of your life. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Psalm 18 verse 9. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Psalm 139 verses 13 to 14. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made, marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well.